This is a poem for Charles Bukowski. I lived with a woman once who had doubles of every F. Scott Fitzgerald book. If you really loved me, she'd say, you'd burn all your Bukowski books. Already, in the name of love, I'd quit smoking in the bedroom, the kitchen, the bathroom, and most times in the living room. I cut out drinking except for the occasional single beer with Mexican food. In the name of love, I stopped talking to most of my close friends. Thrown away a small collection of porno magazines, old love letters, and faded photographs of those old loves. I even threw away my autographed copy of Bob Flanagan's S&M love sonnets. But the Bukowski books were where I drew the line. No way, I'd tell her. And sometimes that ended the conversation, and sometimes it didn't. When it didn't end the conversation, she'd harangue me with all the usual criticisms thrown at Bukowski, like a non-smoker preaching the obvious evils of secondhand smoke, while I, like a stubborn smoker praising the dangerous joys of tobacco, tried to explain what it was like when I first saw him read back in the early 70s in a small smoky bar in Long Beach. I tried to explain how the bar was so crowded that all I could see, above the usual Long Beach drunks who didn't give a damn about poetry or poetry readings, above the loud hecklers who didn't give two shits about poetry either, above a few English professors and some of their curious students, and above all the young men pretending they'd seen and done everything that old men have, all I could see was Bukowski's head. His hair was greasy and combed back. His face was scarred and unshaven. The kind of face you used to see on the old men in the old bars, on the old streets like Vermont or Maine or Western. I tried to explain what it was like seeing an old white guy who carried himself as tough, savvy, and cool as the old black bluesmen I'd grown up following and idolizing. I tried to explain what it was like in a time when rock and roll meant nothing and everyone said, have a nice day, to see a poet who celebrated the silent madness of an empty room, who understood a certain generation of blue-collar Americans, people like my old man, people who drank, who passed out drunk at kitchen tables or on bathroom floors, who spit out chunks of their lungs while fumbling for another cigarette, who woke up hungover, wrestled with their demons, went to jobs they despised, and who somehow made it through one more spirit-crushing day. People who felt so much that they prayed to feel nothing. But I tried hardest to explain to her how I left the bar that night with words pounding in my skull for the first time like a great rock and roll song. His words, words like nothing I'd been taught in school, but words I'd heard and felt every day of my life. Simple, powerful, brutal, ugly, and beautiful words. While acknowledging that maybe, just maybe, some of her criticisms of him could be correct, I tried to tell her how from that night on, I wanted to write poems, songs, anything, and how, like the old bluesman gave me music, Bukowski gave me words, as did my other great teacher, Gerald Loughlin, wherever he may be. Even back then, I knew that I could never be an old bluesman or an old Bukowski, but the inspiration of that music and those words, to dream, to struggle, to survive, and to never give up, despite all the miserable odds, has remained with me. I never burned my Bukowski books, and I haven't seen the woman I lived with in 25 years or more. But I guess she was right, though. I really didn't love her.